Call the meeting to order of the Griggs County Commission on April 6, 2018. Let's pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Roll call. Dale's texted me to start without him, so he must be having cow trouble. Okay. John. Here. Dale's not here. Mark. Here. Sean. Here. Troy's here. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda as presented?
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Sean, seconded by Mark to approve the agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Are there any additions or corrections to the March 23rd meeting minutes that you guys found? You didn't get anything from North Dakota PERS? So we kind of took that off the agenda.
I can just report, like,
Okay.
Move to approve the March 23rd minutes as presented and dispense with the reading.
Been moved by Sean to approve the March 23rd meeting minutes as presented and dispense with the reading. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mark. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Take a look at the bills.
Page 5, general workman's comp, it's got a negative balance on the amount. We got a refund?
Yep, we took it all out of general in the beginning because we didn't have the broke out, and then we got the breakout, so then I'm refunding the general fund and then taking it out of the individual budgets.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
It's been moved by Mark to approve the bills as presented. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I have a question. So the deputy's salary now is coming out of the recorder's budget? And how, when did that take place?
That took place on June, or sorry, March 15th
Okay.
is when her start date was.
So Christie took the job that was posted for the recorder.
Correct.
And now we're going to have applications out for,
Deputy treasurer, road bookkeeper, and extension secretary.
And she's aware that there's gonna be discussion regarding that position come budget time?
I do believe that's been.
Wow.
I mean, that all I'm concerned with is that if everything is out on the table, that there's a possibility that there'll be a reduction or elimination of that position. And I don't know if that will happen or not, but it's a possibility where I don't think there was a possibility that the job she had was going to go away. So we can't tell anybody where they have to work, but we owe it to everybody, to the employees, to be able to be informed to make a decision. So if you would convey that to her,
Absolutely.
I'd appreciate that.
Mhm.
Thank you.
That sheriff repairs, that must be a $500 deductible to the insurance or something.
Correct. Yep.
That was on that little Ford. I saw it had a dent in it.
So it looks like there's a couple of them.
Hi.
Going back to what John was talking about, maybe we should waive hiring or filling those positions until June, maybe June.
We don't have control over that, Mark. All we have control over is the budget. They're elected officials. We told Kelly that we were gonna consider eliminating that funding for that deputy when she was in here at that 2 meetings ago.
Yeah.
So hoping that she would do the right thing in communicating with anybody that expressed interest in that. I don't understand what's going on because I don't live here either, but I don't know that I like it.
But given that, if everybody has their eyes open to this, the people
That's
involved,
fine.
Yeah.
the fact that the budget has been approved for this year,
Right.
the department heads have the ability to spend that budget.
Okay.
Again, my only concern is that every person involved is aware of what possibilities might come about as of next budget. Because of course we wouldn't want to, we don't want to lose an employee.
Sure.
And in the position we're in right now, even if it came true that the fact that there was going to be a cut in the recorder's budget, we wouldn't lose an employee because we haven't hired one.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. And just to take it one step further, Mark, a couple years ago, the Secretary of State took over all UCC filings, so
Yep.
they no longer come here. So we've been under the opinion that budget's been overstaffed for some time, but we didn't take the hardball
Sure.
approach.
Sure.
And then now it happened seemingly through attrition, which would be, everybody's first choice. And this just surprised me a little bit that
Sure.
this would be done.
That the UCC filings and that the state on the recorder's side has drastically reduced their participation also.
The clerk.
Clerk, on the clerk side, excuse me.
Our caseload in the county is declining quite a bit.
So the funding that we get from the state, the Supreme Court is the one in charge of the clerk of court service, so that has declined
You know,
markedly.
they used
also.
to fund,
They evaluate how much work is there.
Yeah, that's where we got that report, it said about a third time. or something
right.
like
Yeah,
that.
one time we're at 48%.
now it's down to 31% or something.
Yeah.
So, you know. Anyway,
Okay.
So yes, it probably would be advantageous if we could delay the hiring, but the next best thing is to make everybody aware of what's going on.
People are thinking.
No, very good point. And Wayne said he had some free time, he was gonna apply anyway.
yeah.
That Jerry's auto was for the Ram. The Ram accident.
What accident was that
What
one?
happened to that again?
I believe she hit a mailbox. Huh?
Never heard about that.
I believe that's what that was for.
Well, that little Ford crossover thing had a dent in it too last time I saw it. Any other questions on the bills?
I see, either they arrested you, Troy, or you got fingerprint for some other reason.
We'll do the rest of it in next month's report.
Hopefully, we're not gonna have to send you to a special facility.
I bought a silencer.
Uh-oh.
And you have to get fingerprinted and they need passport photos and it takes like 6 months. Like I dropped it.
Not mad at me or anything, are you?
No.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know, he's got one.
Got one, yeah.
I don't have it yet. I just had to pay for it. Now I gotta wait until I'm approved.
Strategic deterrence.
You ever shot a gun with one on? Takes all, what do you put on, 300?
I don't know what I'm gonna put it on.
They say if you get the 300, it'll fit on all the smaller calibers too.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. But
And it takes all the kick out. Takes all the kick out.
I was gonna have some of my rifles fitted for it, but of course Travis over in Carrington, he wants me to. He said, "Wow, you can buy them; they're already ready."
Yeah.
Don't go doing that. Because I thought I put it on my 204 and my 223 and my 22-250.
You're right on.
Well, my guns are for self-defense, and I'm not a very good shot, so I don't want them to hear the shot.
It's hard to put one on a sawed-off shotgun.
Anyway, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John,
Aye.
Mark, Sean,
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. Now we can go to the monthly office reports, John. You must have been ahead of us a couple pages.
No, I just lump them all together when it involves money, I just, bills.
We got the emergency manager report this morning, so that's just an add-on with all your.
I got an email, I didn't look at it yet.
Yeah, so that's their monthly office report if you want to add it there. So.
Good afternoon, Dale. Cow trouble?
What's that?
Cow trouble? Did you fix it?
Probably not.
Or just give up?
I imagine it'll be dead when I get home.
I'm to approve the monthly office reports. as presented.
Been moved by Sean to approve the monthly office reports as presented. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mark. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, let's proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Wayne,
Sage is 22 to 28. This one's a letter from the High Patrol. See if we want them to enforce our weight during 2018, and now they say, do you want us just during the spring load restriction period or year-round assistance?
so do you want them just during spring or do you want them all year round? I mean, if they're here, they might as well be doing that too,
They
right?
could do it all year because
So this letter's not right.
violations all year. So.
You want it all year round?
So that's the letter.
Well, I'm just asking Wayne.
Yeah. Might as well have assistance all year if they can. I mean, it says they can't do it, you know,
They don't go out on the
Very
county.
often.
They don't go out on the county roads anyway, do they?
once in a while they have.
Did they?
On the county roads, would we be the same as the highway, 80,000 when the limits aren't on?
11s aren't on. We're 80,000.
Yeah,
Highway 1 is, and 200 I think are higher probably.
105.5.
Limits aren't on. One going south I think is unrestricted up from 200 to 94 I think. You can, or that's 105 on that. And then 200s.
if your wheels, if you have enough
Yeah.
Gotta have
wheels
enough.
under it.
Otherwise, it's 88, I
It's,
think.
yeah,
If you
Yeah,
get
enough
no
axles.
wiggle.
yeah, 10% over,
80.
yeah, 88.
So it just needs a letter from Samantha.
But I think even with the overload permit, on township or on county roads, I think you're still only at 80,000. I think that's only for highways.
State highways.
Yeah, that are over the percent.
Have we done that before?
Yep, we've sent this letter every year,
Oh,
and this is what we.
This letter states just in the spring, that's why, and he said that we could ask, we could request assistance
This
all year
this
round.
letter says, I think it's the same one. I would ask that you specify in the letter if you wish year-round assistance versus during spring load restriction period.
Right,
I'll have to draft that.
so you just
Used
want
to be
to,
just during the spring load is all we did.
That's what we've done?
Yeah.
That's what I wanna do.
Okay.
I don't know what anybody else, I don't,
Once the roads are back in shape, it doesn't.
yeah.
is that a motion?
I'll make a motion, we ask for spring road load restriction assistance.
Second.
Moved by John, seconded by Sean, that we request assistance from North Dakota Highway Patrol during spring load restrictions. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
23, I think we'll skip that for right now.
Mm-hmm.
Page 24 is improvement of the bridge on Highway 45. And they're asking if we have any comments on the project or information. Work on the deck, overlay bridge rail, retrofit, approach guardrail revisions, and possible relocation of a field drive. That's not till 2019, so we don't have to worry, but they want comments in by somewhere. 4/27/2018.
Yeah, but if we don't comment, we'd assume we have no comment.
Right.
We really don't have any jurisdiction anyway, do we?
Nope, I was just wondering, the only concern I had was, I was wondering if they ever gonna have a bypass, or are they gonna keep it open all the
Oh.
time, or are they gonna wanna go on our county road, or are they gonna, it doesn't say that.
And there's no financial commitment on our part, correct?
Pardon?
There's no financial commitment on our part.
No. So in the past, I just haven't commented, because we're gonna do it.
I don't know how they could put a bypass there.
You'd have to, east of there, you'd have to go north and up around and then come back in at the 7 mile corner.
I don't
Right.
know,
Yeah,
but that bridge ain't much.
yeah.
No, it's a brand new bridge down in the bottom there where you
you'd have
come
to go
across.
down past Ottawa Church.
Yeah.
Oh, that way, I
Right
see.
over.
Yeah. And then maybe
I
Township
presume.
Road out to that corner.
Yeah.
But they haven't said that, maybe they'll keep it open. I don't know, have you seen any plans or anything?
Or they can go south and then they can run into our box culvert project.
Yeah.
I think our only comment would be that if they put extra traffic onto our lighter gravel roads, that least they can do is put some gravel back on it when they're done.
Do they do that if they use your roads for like detours?
They did, you know, like, there for a while when they were working the overpass by Hannaford, they paved through Hannaford, and I think they gravelled some of that road, or helped reshape that road going past the elevator out,
Oh, okay.
as they made around that way.
We can ask.
They have never, for us, I guess, ever done anything like that. That's fine.
And they probably won't, because there's not very many places to go around that bridge anyway. They're probably gonna keep it open.
I bet you they'll keep it open. It doesn't say it's gonna be closed,
Well, we could add that into our comments, that if a bypass is used, then onto our county or township roads, that least they can do is to put them back in prior conditions. They don't have to be improved. But
Okay, can you, okay if I comment, Troy?
Go ahead.
Letters to the chairman. letters addressed to the chairman of the Board of County Commissioners.
Right.
Okay.
You're talking about the next one now?
Well, I'm talking about that 45, 145. Comments, it says. How many 45s is the commission comments you're supposed to? This is the, I can answer that. Then next one is the old bridge, Decker Bridge we call it, 8 miles north, 1 mile east.
It's 10 miles north, but
Yeah,
I know where it is.
2 miles east. Anyway. Yeah, and last year we made that decision to have it inspected every year,
Yep.
you know, so I didn't see that in their comments with this, that was in here. 'Cause it just says alert code in 2011 about the abutments possibly cracking and stuff, which they were, but we didn't have to do any annual inspection at that time. But I did call Paul, talk to Paul Pearson, and do you investigate it some more, or?
Yep, I guess, I looked at our inspection from last year that Sean Mayfield did, he's on the West Fargo office now, and gave him a call, yesterday afternoon, and he'd be able to come back up and take a look at it again. We just done a miscellaneous services agreement, I think, for that, and we've got a little bit of budget left in that, if you wanted to, then have him do that. And he could rewrite the response back to DOT.
Okay.
You guys want any other information on that? I guess the pictures showed pretty big cracks in the abutments.
Right, but, and that was existing last year.
Yeah, right, that was what we were.
So the reason for doing an inspection every year is to see if the condition is changing, right?
Right, so Wayne and Sean went out and measured the length of the bridge, and it is in compression right now. You can see that they've got some plate steel that runs along the length of the bridge, and it's, you know, it's like spaghetti. It's because it's pushed together, it's making it bow out. So it definitely should be looked at again. And that's what the DOT is asking for, right?
Yeah. It's to be done by July 14th, so
The inspection.
they should be gone. Maybe the ice will be gone by that time.
If it isn't, I'm gonna be.
I had a request from the SIAC and the crib members to have that memorandum of understanding signed if we could.
The what?
The memorandum of understanding. It's for the use of our frequency,
Taking control of our frequencies.
Oh.
if they need to use them, the radio frequencies. And,
State radio.
pardon?
State radio or DES or who?
Well, it's,
In the event of a
Somewhere
catastrophe and they need to use extra radio channels for some kind of emergency situation, that's what they'll do is use these channels that we have in our name. Nelson County did it through the emergency manager. And I don't, Nelson County signed it, it sounds like the rest of the counties are signing it too, from what I've been informed when they did it up in Nelson County.
Yeah, Ramsey County and the city of Devils Lake both did.
No, what benefit is it to us? Other than we lose control of the frequencies we have. The underlying push from the federal is to switch everything over to digital frequencies. And a lot of the federal agencies have been switched over. The problem is they can't operate when they go into state areas because the states haven't switched over. So what will happen is the same thing happened in the federal. Once they get control of frequencies, then it will mandate that the frequency intervals get closer together because digital will allow you to do that.
Cut the band in half, don't they?
They did that once, now it'll cut it to what, 5.
Okay.
And then once that happens, every radio you have is obsolete and you have to buy all new radios.
Well, I think the state, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think the state is updating or mandating updates on radios again sometime in the near future for digital radios.
But the underlying cause is in an event of emergency, they're going to take it. It's to try to switch the whole system.
I thought that was a decision of the FCC.
No, it has to be cleared with the FTC. The agencies that want to use the digital frequencies are the ones that started it originally. So I don't know if it.
I think Wayne, we were talking, you had kind of some concerns about this too, that
I did. I have a letter here from Mike Dannenfelser. He's Bismarck. He does the 911 in Bismarck, and he had some reservations too. And I'm not going to read the whole letter, but so I do understand the concern over the legislative intent language, and I do share in that concern. But attempted to pursue a simple statement of a letter of intent, participate to satisfy the intent of language. But the SIAC could not agree. I do believe, however, with the current language, we have an agreement that requires consideration for local requirements and assurances that we have a viable system in place before any of these types of licenses or frequencies transfer would occur, if it is even necessary. Each local jurisdiction can determine how they want to pursue that when the time comes again. It may not even be necessary dependent upon the system design and engineering of that new system. So I've received emails, I've received phone calls. We're the only county that hasn't signed it yet. It was, I know Foster County hadn't signed it for a while. David Hutke is on that board, on the crib board with me. And he took it back and they signed it, I think, the last meeting. So, doesn't sound like they're going to lose it. You still have control.
Do we have control if we don't sign it?
And you have full control if you don't sign it.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Exactly. Is there a penalty for not signing it?
I don't think so. I just won't go to the meetings. I'll just stay.
That's fine. Always trust that the government has bad intentions.
Yeah.
Not good. You won't
Careful
be, you
now,
won't be you won't be disappointed very often that way.
careful now, we're part of that thing you're talking about, so.
And everybody should just trust us also.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose of government, is to make sure you're involved so you watch what the people are doing.
And the memorandum says, between the state of North Dakota through its information technology department and blank. Parties, this memorandum of understanding is entered into by and between the state of North Dakota through its information technology department and Griggs County or whoever. Enter an agreement wherein Access agrees to authorize the use of any radio frequency required for the statewide interoperable radio network.
Okay. What are your wishes?
Nay.
Well, if nobody makes a motion, we wait. We do nothing.
Well, and then I'm afraid you're just gonna keep calling Wayne. We make a motion tell them that we're not gonna do it or whatever. I'll make a motion that we do not sign.
Been moved by Mark that we don't sign the memorandum of understanding with North Dakota IT department regarding our radio frequencies. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay.
I had this at the meeting last time. This was all the repairs on the 4 motor graders that's been paid for by
Yeah, you told me that.
Working. So there it is right there.
So over half of it's on one machine.
Yep.
Is that because it sits out in the cold or what?
It's probably got a bad machine.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are lemons.
Yeah. And then that was the one we had multiple operators on too. You know, not that it's the operator's fault, but just
No.
the change in habits and.
Definitely makes a difference with heat.
Oh,
Too. I mean, if you're in a heated shop or not, so
Yep.
dries up, warms up.
Yep.
But that one on Sutton's not in the heated shop either, right?
Nope.
No. These have, do they have transmission heaters on them when you plug them in?
Yeah, block heaters. But yeah, 177 had 13,000. Matt's 14,393. Jake 9,843, and Jeff $42,180.
Most of that was a hydraulic pump, wasn't it?
Well, there's
Turbo and
Turbo.
Oh, turbo on it, yeah.
that water jacket or water cooler where it runs through the manifold.
Oh,
It's cracked. There was like 3 water pumps, I think. Water pump went out. They put a rebuilt on. That went out. Another rebuilt on. That went out. Then they put a new one on. It's been on since. And there's been, I think, couple wiring harnesses, or 3 wiring harnesses that have been replaced in part of the machines. Computer problems, solenoid sensors, anything. There hasn't been any transmission or engine or anything like that. Matt had, the seals were leaking on the tandems, so they took it to Fargo, or Moorhead, and placed the seals. And I got a note on Steele County. They have 3 blades that they blade their roads with. They only take care of 6 townships. You have 144 miles of pavement and 186 miles of county gravel. And then there's 2 contractors that have 2 blades each that blade some of the townships. One contractor that blades, or there's one other contractor that has 1 blade, and then Willow Lake has 1 blade. So there's 9 motor graders in Steele County.
And there are 3, how many hours are they putting on them a year?
I don't know the hours. Remember, they've only got 6 townships. Some of the townships have more miles. There's one township he said had 59 miles. Yeah, that's a lot of miles for a township. It's got to be a road
Every section.
So. There was a new sheet sent out by Upper Equipment for with the new warranty rate, because that's included in the packet. And then RDO had sent out a new quote for 7 years and 6,000 hours, 7 years and 5,000 hours of warranty. I think you probably all got that.
I was just doing the fact checker.
Put it in the fact checker.
Somebody in Steele County's fudging the number of miles they have in their township.
I can't see how they have that many miles in
The
there.
maximum you could have is 60 miles if there was no county roads or state roads in the township. To have 58 doesn't seem really possible, hardly. But it doesn't matter.
You have 72.
Hmm?
You have technically have 72.
Well, the
Maybe
roads on the
share.
borders are shared with the one next.
Even including that though, you got 5 splitting them up, and then a 6 that's half and half on each end, north and south and east and west.
Oh yeah, you could have 72. Oh. Hmm?
But still, 60 miles, 9.
Yeah, 72.
That's a lot of miles.
That's fine.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Those all have gravel on them.
5 is
Different
30,
place.
5 is 30, and
Well, I know my way around
36.
Steele County, and there's more than there's some prairie trail over there. And minimum maintenance. There's a lot of minimum maintenance roads over there.
And I'm sure they counted them as, you played them twice a year.
Anyway,
So, once again, I would request we get 4 motor graders, whatever choice you wish.
so it looks like it increased it about $2,000 a machine to go to the 6,000 hours 7 year. Sound right?
So, that 7 years is 32, 275.
Now it's 30 and 28, and the other one was 30.
Yep.
Yeah, it was 32, 275, and 31, 57.
Just be the 1 year, of course, this year where you're making the double payments, but then after that, it's just pay. $120,647, unless you choose to buy 2 Yeah, it's in 2 genders. See, both companies have really just bent over backwards, I think, to try to make a good quote for us.
What does it cost to have the GPS or the monitoring system in them?
Roughly about $700 a year.
It's included for 5 years. It's a standard option. It's about, if you go longer, it's about $600 a year.
Was it that way the last machines too?
I can't remember if
I
they
think
were
the last ones were just 3 years.
Yeah.
But we never used it.
We did for a while.
Yeah, we had it for the 3 years.
So does that have the ability to print reports that would show you how much time the machine spent over a certain speed, how much time it spent? Does it have sensors on the blade so it can tell you when it was actually blading, idling, no travel or stopped, and that'll print that in a format, a report format?
Yep. We can use that a monitoring team that can push those reports to you how often you want. They can put it together and send them to you in an email, or you can do it yourself. But yeah, it'll tell each gear how much time has been run in each gear idle.
Right, and you could set alarms on it, so it would show up in red or whatever color you wanted to, if you
Yep.
so desired.
So if you give us access to the machines, if there's a catastrophic failure, it'll alert us
Yep.
as well as
Absolutely.
whoever then, so we can call and say we need to turn it down or turn it off.
Does it also have the ability to download the machine's path over a map, overlaid over a map and print it?
I believe it does.
Because then we could use it for billing with the townships and that sort of thing.
Bunch of different things.
Sure.
And it'll show, then you could show during hours of operation, if it was sitting still, if it was moving, what speed it was going. Okay.
The same thing.
Yep, Foster County's a good example. He prints out monthly. He follows it weekly with the operators and he does print out.
The systems, I assume, are autonomous. They don't have the ability to be disabled. Once you turn the key on, the system records. Yeah.
The only way ours stops is if you shut the master switch off.
But that'll shut the machine off.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Mhm.
But even with the key on, off, ours locates. Yeah.
Right, yep. Mhm.
How many people would it notify?
Whoever's on the email.
Sky's the
You
limit.
can,
Yeah.
sky's the limit.
Whoever you want designated to receive those notifications.
Could they be site-specific for notifications? And what I'm getting at is so that, let's say they're coming into Cooperstown Township, can a supervisor be notified?
On location when he arrives there,
Yeah?
you'd have to look it up. You'd have to get in there and probably, I'd have to talk to the technician
To see if that person or.
to alert it when it's coming into a certain location. I don't have that answer, I guess I'd have to find out.
I don't know. My
Because
first
what
guess
we're
is-
getting at, what I'm getting at is that, you know, as supervisors, we've always got another little project that, you know, we need a hole filled or something like that. If we were notified that they were coming into the township, then we could get a hold of them and say, "Gosh, yeah, when you're over here, fill this too, do that, do some work there."
But don't you think that could just be the responsibility of the operator? That he's got a map there and he's got the supervisor's phone numbers and you've got his
Could give
phone
him a call.
number and
Yep.
just make, I mean, if he's coming that way, make sure they call you.
Yeah, and either way, whichever is easiest, you know. We
Well,
don't-
that'd be the easiest because then you have positive
Yeah,
contact back and forth.
Yeah.
Well, it seems to me the easiest thing to do is have the supervisor call Wayne, and them guys can have
And
a
then
list of
handle
things
that
in
that
there.
way.
They can have it in their blade, and if they go to that township, they can fix it. Isn't that what you do now?
Yes, yep.
but sometimes they, you know, they're kind of come and gone, and then you think of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they were notified, either that or we notified before they come there.
You're gonna have to send them a text when you think of it.
There you go. We
Well,
can have-
I'm sure there's a website that these are tied into, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you could have it on your phone.
Sure.
Yep.
Just like with the airplanes, I can just log on, I can see exactly where they are at any time, what they're doing.
Ours is Vision Link, and a lot of the road superintendents have it right on their cell phone, so they
Yeah.
don't have to be home, they could be in Bismarck shopping or anywhere.
So you could see where they're at any time just by logging onto that website.
In Bismarck shopping, don't tell Wayne that. God's sakes.
He's talking about the Burley Kiner.
Yeah, there you go.
I was in Jamestown at the dentist when I got it.
There's something wrong with you, I think that's recreational. Bill, what are you thinking?
None of the numbers fit the budget very well, especially.
Why doesn't it fit?
Well, if you add everything up, it doesn't work.
We have to work with 120 grand a year.
You know, we also have to take out the 260's gotta come out each and every year. By the time we get the operating costs, of those machines and the ownership costs, there's no money left in the budget to do anything else.
Well, the 260 doesn't have to be taken out every year because each year the budget is different.
No, it does, because if we, unless we decrease the budget every year, or decrease the budget every year, or increase the revenue, it does, because it's over 260 right
We
now,
can
so,
reduce.
yeah.
Reduce it, which we did, but we don't know exactly what the revenue's gonna be.
No, we don't.
It's go up, go down.
Right. Dramatics, yeah. But
But this year is the one year where you probably have to take some out of the reserve
we'll have to,
to make that payment.
no matter what we're gonna have to.
Because we budgeted 110, so if we use 72 out of there, there's still 28, whatever, left.
But if
So
we
now
put,
you gotta get the 100,000 out of the reserve.
right, and then, but next year, you know, if we just push this budget forward to next year, we'd be $260,000 short. The one we're
Yeah,
using this
if you
year.
use the same.
Yeah,
And of course, you know, we're not gonna spend, and I think that didn't count the House Bill and Senate money, because
yeah, well, no, I can't.
you
do
can't
that.
count that.
No. The concern is we have new machines and we can pay for them and we can, but we don't have much money left over to do a lot of other things. We can only build up a reserve for our 25% match in the state and federal
Projects.
gravel fund projects. The one thing I didn't see on there, maybe I missed it, was don't we have to do crack sealing too? Don't we have to budget for
So
that?
that's with the asphalt.
That's enough for the winter? Okay.
asphalt 25,000, and chips and sand 8,000, which would be
Well, we have that,
dollars too.
we got that coming up this summer, I suppose, on the, like the Sutton Road.
Well, no, that's not gonna be till 2019 unless we move it back.
Oh,
The chip seal,
no, I meant the crack sealing.
Oh,
We're
crack
going
seal, yeah,
to
that'll
crack
be-
seal it, yeah,
most of the roads.
yeah. But that isn't that expensive, it's labor mostly, right?
It just takes time. I can't remember what the total is, $2,500 or something. Total.
Mhm.
Just takes time.
Right.
So what are you guys feeling? Do you wish to go 3 machines, or if that works better? Can't work worse.
Doesn't get worse, no. The problem with the leasing machines, you end up with, when the lease is up, you have no equity in the cost of,
Sure.
the next lease is gonna be
Sure.
28% more, basically, if you just do a 4% over the 7. And we're already up against as much revenue as that budget's gonna ever get.
What was the purchase price of our used ones again? 168 was it?
Something 160.
I think they were 165 and then the
I
one
think so.
was
160.
So to purchase those 4 machines, to take them down to a zero owed after the 5 years, figuring 500,000, 6%, 5 years, came to about $118,000 a year. That would be 4 machines. Excuse me, that would be 3 machines.
For 500,000, you're
Yeah,
only gonna get 3 of them.
So you, to lease 3 machines would be in the 96,000, 96, you'd probably have to go 7,000 hours on those machines. It would be in the $96,000 range. So you would save $24,000, $22,000 over those 5 years, which is $110,000, which is probably about the equity in the machines anyway.
And you're gonna spend some money on maintenance.
Yeah.
I don't think it's cheaper.
No. So how, I don't suppose we even went there because no one wants to go there. How would it look, what would it look like then running 3 machines? What would the scenario look like?
How many hours do we put on our machines now? Do you have any idea in the summer? Just in the summer, not excluding?
No,
You know, we should have some data from the 3
we're
years.
gonna go through data again. We've got so much data. We had all the hours stuff here for each
Yeah, but that was
machine.
total per year.
4,500 hours about on gyms.
Yeah, that was total
And
per
30,
year.
Probably 6 to 38, not 3,900 on the other one.
If we went back on the 3 years that we had the GPS on them, would it tell us how many hours we were getting on?
Yeah, we could get that.
In the summer
In the
and-
season?
Yeah, I mean,
In the
we'd
summer
have to-
season?
We just have to probably pull it by, I think,
Time frame.
monthly data on each machine or.
Is that
for certain
2011, we did have a disaster in that year.
Yeah.
That's too good.
So,
I mean, they reduced the hours of warranty, which lowered the cost some too, but you don't wanna, 7 years and 5,000 hours, I think we'd be spending way more in repairs after that warranty. I don't know if you can extend it once you have a 5-year, can you extend it?
Yeah, you can.
If you bumped up against the hours, you mean?
Mhm.
So you could just buy more warranty, couldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's, to push it down the road, it is more expensive than upfront, but you can do it.
But there's a pretty good chance we wouldn't use up to 5,000 hours based on what we've done in the last 5 years.
Well, I mean, kind of the idea was, if you wanted to go with 4 is maybe do 2 at 7,000, 2 at 6 or 5, or, what I mean, so you can, if there's a balance, or if you need to move a machine to a different part of the county, or if you're getting high on one or something.
So to answer your question, Mark, just kind of a generic, we're gonna average about $800 per year per machine over the life of this thing with the 4 machines. And so if you break out the summer and winter season into equal parts, in the 26 weeks of the summertime, which would be not this year, but April 15th through October 15th, the grading season, at 40 hours a week, there's 1,040 hours possible. If we figure that 25% of our work is done in the summer, in the wintertime, 75% in the summer, that means we're putting 600 hours on each machine per summer. And so you can see it's very easy to run 3 machines, do the same amount of hours as we're doing, probably using the same work schedule as we have. But making sure the machines are run more efficiently. Possibly, maybe we don't run the machines back and forth every night in the summertime. Maybe we have a pickup behind them like they used to and fuel them and bring them back. Maybe we have someone jump in them over vacation time so that they run constantly there. Yeah. The biggest thing maybe is scheduling. But again, it's all easily done. It's just how long you want to run the machines, how much use you want to make of the piece of equipment. So that's where the whole thing lies.
How many days after a rain effect can they start blading?
Depends upon, what kind of gravel you have and stuff. Some you can blade the same afternoon and rain in the morning. Some you can't, you gotta wait till the next day. And then by the end of the day, it's so hard that you can't cut them anymore.
Go through more blades.
Yep.
Or cutting inches.
I mean, you could easily divide it into 3 sections, but then you're not going to get around to certain roads as often as you can now. Hannaford Road, that's the one that has the most problems because there's so much truck traffic on that.
Right.
Cut across to Finley is starting to break down a little bit now. Some of the fines have gone, so that takes more blading because it starts getting washboarding and stuff. So.
At one time there was talk of asphalting that road. Making it.
That was back in the 80s.
No, we had that before us here over the Senate.
Oh, yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah.
But I remember back when Bruce Laughlin was in the legislature, he was mad at Griggs County because Steele County went to the county line and Griggs County decided not to pave it.
Yeah. Well, even back in the
that
80s,
was back in
they had that
the late
discussion.
80s.
But it was $1.6 million was the bid for it this last time, I believe.
That was a lot.
Does, how much, and we'd pay 20% of that?
No, we weren't going to pay any of that.
That was all oil.
That was on the House and Senate bill money.
Oh?
We decided to buy gravel instead of asphalt.
And
Basically,
spread it over the whole county rather
Yeah.
than.
Yeah.
blow all
Couple
that
miles,
all that money in there in that little bit of area.
It was public use money. We thought that it should be used, everybody should benefit for it. And
Sure. Sure.
10.
there was also a project to raise the road going west out of Binford, where it goes to the Kenry there, and that was the same thing, raise it in asphalt a mile or two there, and that was $1.2 million. And we decided that the money was better spent on the gravel, and I think it was.
Sure.
It's better to maintain 50 miles of gravel than 1 mile. So good.
But I know I've approached a few townships, trying to get them to do these maps that we talked about, and so that we can easier schedule and those sorts of things. And they keep telling me they're coming, but we'll see.
Yep, and we should increase the hourly rate. When you-
I think that's a given, isn't it?
I don't think anybody squawks about that.
So I think the only thing we're really trying to decide is whether we're gonna get 3 or 4,
I believe
or what we're fighting with, I think.
So it feels like to me.
Yeah.
You guys just need to make up your mind.
Yeah.
Got awfully quiet.
There's quite a bit less snow in your dad's yard than there is in my yard.
We have less snow up north.
I'll say it was a blade in it.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for you guys to do something. I ran over to Carrington this morning. There's hardly any snow over there.
once you get to Glenville, it's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what, I think it blew away. There was more there on Friday or Saturday. I don't know if it did. But
I do think that if we do go to 3 blades,
It's just somebody has to manage it different.
yeah,
Mine does.
and at least I'd like to see us have 1 cap machine out of that deal then. If we could make that work. If we could make that work. 108.
We're not going to make a decision without a motion, boys.
I tried mine last time.
Can't make a mistake that way either.
No.
But if we're gonna go with new machines, you're gonna have to do something here so that they get a chance to get them in for us.
That'll be fine. So,
'Cause I
what's
think,
the price of the cap? A 7-year?
7 years,
29,000.
7-year, 7,000 hours is $39.80 for a lease.
So 100
17 for 3.
Yeah. But if you went with 2 John Deeres and 1 cat, and I think, we talk about how they steer. And if you got the John Deere machine that would steer the same way, I think it'd be costing us about the same kind of money.
Yeah. Okay, so what's the price for 1 John Deere machine now? You have that?
Per year?
With the 7-year with the warranty.
32,275.
Is that 7 years, 7,000 hours?
Yeah. 32, 125?
275.
$39,008.
What is the price of the John Deere joystick machine?
We'd probably be around that 40 range for a lease payment,
So
based on
this and this would be a wash, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the value, Wayne, of the joystick machine or the wheeled machine? Why is the joystick machine more
Operator
expensive?
preference, right? Oh,
More expensive?
Part of operating preference. And then, well, Jim used to have, with the steering wheel and the mounted rack and the levers and stuff. And they would freeze up sometimes. Because you come in, there's snow and whatever, and then it sits in the cold shop, freeze up. Next morning, levers are froze. The electric over hydraulic, I don't know if it's more sealed or something, but there isn't the linkage. It's just electric solenoid that controls the hydraulic flow.
And he doesn't have heat in his shop where he keeps it.
Printer or something don't have heat.
Okay, so what's the difference between, the overall difference between the Cat machine and the John Deere?
Both good machines. Both have trouble.
Are both these machines the same size?
Yes.
Do they class road gators, put them in a class, or are they by horsepower?
It's by horsepower.
And
model.
weight? Yeah.
140 and 772 are same. The differentiation from ours to theirs is our hydraulic valving. We don't steal hydraulics from one to the other, and our braking system is braked individually. It's not braked on the axle. We got individual brakes on each one.
So is there differential braking on these machines, transmission braking or not? None of that. There isn't.
They brake on the axle, and then the chains catch the. Whereas ours are right on each individual hub.
Mm-hmm. Can you explain the difference in hydraulics?
We got individual banking for each one of our hydraulics, so if you're raising your moldboard in the wing or doing the articulating, nothing, I mean, it's all individual, it's not stealing from one to the other.
Yeah, with the manual, that's, it's a,
Mm-hmm.
but the E8s or the joystick ours
Are the same.
thing, and then they just thought that they have an option that they just probably have a wrap down with joysticks, or you can get just two individual ones now. Still has the steering wheel and all three options.
So and you figure to match this machine, the Cat machine is going to be about the same price or more, less?
Yeah, roughly, without punching it and get the residuals on, because you change and everything when you change machines.
So Wayne, what would be the operator preferences then?
Operator preferences depends upon who's operating.
Good turnaround.
Who's gonna be running them, I guess, someone isn't gonna have a machine. Which I don't know if that means he won't get a job or doesn't have a job, or you can only run a machine so many hours a day. I mean, if you're gonna work a 40-hour week. Of course, you're not gonna work, isn't gonna be 40 hours on each machine, but. Well, Matt and Jim like the Caterpillar joystick control. Jake.
He likes the
Jeff
steering wheel.
had an opportunity, I don't think, to run a joystick machine. Yeah. Jake would prefer steering wheel. And previously he didn't fit between the seat on the cat motor grader, but I think they did some adjusting where they moved the armrests out more. I think they have a kit or something they can move. So
Go ahead and keep, you guys, I'll just put this up here.
and of course with 3 machines, people are gonna just have to wait longer to get their roads opened up in the wintertime or bladed. Summer. Take the number of miles divided by 3 versus 4.
Right, but if you put the same number of hours on 3 of them as you're putting on 4 now, that shouldn't be a problem. The snow thing will
Still
be a
gonna
problem.
be a problem. Yeah, the snow thing is the worst.
That would be the biggest thing. You're already working 4 days in the summertime. 2 guys might have to work Fridays and take Mondays off or something. I mean, it could be done.
You'll see it in a minute.
Somebody still has to be there for support and stuff. If somebody has a flat tire.
Well, we have extra people for that aren't
Yeah, but
operators.
you've only got so many people and you can only work 40 hours, so
I know.
you wanna play overtime, yeah.
No, there won't be any overtime. Okay, so this is using 3 machines and
4 operators.
4 operators with an additional operator to work when their machines are, somebody's on vacation. So the X's are the days they work. So operator 1 would work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. He'd be off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The next week, then he would work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, off Thursday, work Friday, off Saturday and Sunday. The next week, everybody would just rotate through. You would do the same amount of hours as 4 machines working 40 hours a week. You would still maintain the operators. You'd have to train another operator so that the machine never sat when someone's on vacation. And you would get the same work done with 3 machines. It would actually give some of these people, some of these days off would be real good. Like this one here, for instance, when you got off the 3rd shift, you would have 4 days off, here, and here. When you got off this shift, now you'd only have 1 day off. You'd have this Sunday off, and then you'd work 4, but then you'd have 3. It works out real well. There's many different ways to do that. It all depends on where you start out, whether you started on Monday or Tuesday. I started this one in the middle of the week. This is kind of modeled after when we used to run full-time in some of the crews down south, how we did it.
Fertilizing?
Yeah. So there's many different options. There's many different ways to do it. It's all just about utilizing the equipment you have. This would maintain the employees we have, utilize the equipment. And we would actually have more time on the roads because now the vacation time would be covered too. But that's just one scenario. Order more of them, just meant bubble gum.
Okay.
Like root beer too.
Okay.
You got that out of her.
Yeah, there's no money for that in the budget.
No,
Forget about that
I'll
idea.
pay.
I get 500 of them, so
Oh,
you're good.
bubble gum ones?
No, it's just all of them.
Sort them out and they'll give me
You got it.
Well, I only need 26 of them. I get one every meeting.
If you do that, then do you think the county should own 3 like machines then? So because you're gonna be moving some people from machine to machine.
You'd think that, I mean, that's a real good, I would imagine there's quite a, I would imagine there's a learning curve.
Yeah, from this.
Yeah. Don't know, I've never run one, but I would imagine that when we did it with all like equipment, with all everything. In fact, we even went to the work of changing switches and everything around, so everything was the same.
In your airplanes.
Yeah, and the trucks and all the equipment, everything that
Oh.
because we did this with the airplanes and the whole support equipment had to be there with it, and so everything was identical. If one auger was this way, that next one, and the trucks and airplanes, everything. And then we also had, at the end of the shift, when whoever got out of the machine had a discrepancy list, so that if there was something wrong with the machine during the day, the next operator that jumped in it knew what he was dealing with. And we also did that on the ground equipment, and we still do that to this day with the firefighting equipment and all that. So again, there's many different ways of doing it. It just and it can be pushed. You know, we did it this way, but we ran the airplanes, tried to run them 12 hours a day. So we actually, when we ran 4 airplanes, we actually had 6 operators doing it. And we split the days into shifts. And I'm not saying this is the way to do it, I'm just saying there are ways to do it.
In the wintertime, they're not right. In the dark at all.
This is
I
only,
think we should give 3 a try.
this is only running
10 hours a day.
10 hours a day.
Mhm.
Want me to leave the room?
You think they're bashful? You should know that by now.
I'd rather you guys sit behind me.
Well, I think that with the money we got to work with, it looks like 3 is the odd way to go. But it'd be nice if we had all kinds of money and could just go for it.
Is that a motion you're making then?
Should I? I make a motion, we lease 1 cat and 2 John Deeres for 7 years, 7,000 hours.
It's been moved by Sean, that the county leased 2 John Deeres and 1 Cat on a 7-year, 7,000 hour lease. Is there a second to the motion? Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that. Then at least we get discussion.
Seconded by Mark. Is there any discussion?
Well, yeah, then the operator thing.
Yeah. Where you don't have all 3 lake machines and it's easier to move
Yeah.
people from one to the other. I think would probably be a.
But if he's got a couple that like Cat already and some that like John Deere, that should work still, shouldn't it?
But they won't be running the same machine every day, you know. You may be in a Cat and then once every 3 weeks you're gonna be
How many operators do we have?
4.
We'll have 4, we'll need 5, right?
Yeah, someone will have for the vacation time. I mean, this is just a proposal. I mean, they can do it however they want, but.
Right.
So in this proposal, the machine would have a route. The operators would go to the route to run the machine. I mean, that's the way we always did it. The machine didn't move, the operators did. They just went to work they just would go to work in a different area, different place each week.
I mean, as much as I'd love to see us try a Cat, I really think the point is having them all be the same. So that it'd be easier to.
I don't know how important that would be. Wayne?
I think it'd be, you know, it won't be such a big deal for the person that runs a machine with the joystick to go back to a steering wheel. But if you're used to running a steering wheel and go to a joystick, I think there can be a lot of issues
I think
there.
that'd be a big deal.
I think it could be too. I think there was quite a learning curve when they came with those, 8 years, 10 years ago? With joystick machines.
You can go try to jump in a Bobcat that isn't traditional and try and run it. Try to jump in a Cat backhoe and a John Deere backhoe and try and see what happens.
that too.
I can't run any of them, so.
Well, I can't very well, but I can run them a lot worse if I get back and forth like that.
I was working at the branch in Sykeston when Foster County got that one over there that had hand controls, and it took him quite a while to get the hang of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about practice, you know.
So if that's the case, then what the majority of the operators, I suppose that's split down the middle too, Wayne?
Yep.
You're not being very helpful here.
Because you're doing what he asked you to.
Well, you're probably the 5th one. You're probably the only one that
Well, I probably won't be here, so I won't have to worry about that.
You're probably the only one that knows how to. You are the only underqualified one, aren't you? Or does Gary run?
He
Gary
has
can.
run one with some gravel and stuff. Somebody was sick or something.
And every other piece of equipment that we run, whether it's a vehicle, has a steering wheel. So, we can, a little bit more what you're used to. I can see that.
It's up to you guys. I mean, if you want 3 like machines, somebody has to make an amendment to the motion.
You can do that too.
I don't think he can amend his own
Can't
motion,
amend it.
but
Yeah. Can I amend it with, since I seconded it?
yes, sir.
I make a motion that we amend the motion to 3 John Deere's with steering wheels. 7 years.
Mark has moved to amend the motion to lease 3 John Deeres with steering wheels. Is there a second to that motion?
I'd second that.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion?
Are these 3 John Deere's 7-year full warranty?
7,000.
That's. Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll vote on the amendment. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Or amendment carries. Now we'll discuss the motion as amended. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. Hallelujah. Decision is made. Thank you, fellers, for
Thank you guys for your time.
enduring our agony.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You want to take a break, John? Or what do you do?
I make a motion to take a 10-minute break.
Been moved by John that we take a 10-minute recess. Second to the motion.
Second.
Second by Sean. All in favor? Motion carries. Call the meeting back to order. David, you're next on the agenda. What the heck?
I got a call from John the other day to ask me to talk to you guys about the homestead credit for.
That's one of the reasons I asked you if you'd met Dennis when we were on break. Because he would know exactly how many veterans are in the county.
Yeah, and for the veterans credit is for disabled veterans, so you have to start
I
at
see.
a 50% disability, and then you.
I see.
So, but I'm assuming he would have that information too about.
I would sure think so.
That's something that doesn't change all that much from year to year, so I'd imagine that for that one I'll check with Dennis, but that one I feel like if you have that status, you probably hopefully know about the program.
And hopefully if he knows about them, I'm sure they do, because
Yeah.
he's really good at what
Yeah.
he does.
So that one, so I feel like that one, I'll confirm with Dennis the list that I have, who
Okay.
gets it. So that one I'm pretty sure most people that should be getting it, do
Okay.
get it. For the homestead credit though, that one, I think there's agreed there's a lot more, quite a few senior citizens in Griggs County, and that,
Is that anybody that reaches the age of 65 then, or what is it?
at the bare basics, it's.
Oh, but it's a wealth related too, isn't it?
Yep, it's your age, so it's once you hit 65, and then it's based on income levels, and then you're allowed to deduct your medical expenses. So if you have nursing home costs, or if you have medicine, dentist, you can subtract that from your income that you report, and then it starts at 42,000. So for let's say for right off the bat, like if someone's just living on Social Security, they're probably eligible.
Yeah.
It takes usually what I did this year is my first year, so I just kind of went off the list of who got it last year,
Yeah.
and then I mailed those out around the same time
Okay.
December statements go out, and then the person gets their tax statement. It's a good time just like, oh, yep, I should make sure I get it,
Sure.
the application applied. If the form is a bit complicated to fill out, if they do have experience doing it before, then sometimes they're able to. But over the course of January, February.
Do you send out a copy of their old one too, with the new one?
Yeah, but I could. I don't. But I could do that.
I mean, when I fill out a form over and over again
Yeah.
on an annual basis,
Well-
I like to have my old one in front of me.
Well, I do for like the stuff that doesn't change from year to year, because like when you have to fill in your name, the legal description, the parcel number, stuff like that they might not remember. That I do. That's already that's pre-filled out for them. So unless
Oh, okay.
so I do have that on file. And
So
that,
you just need a signature and a date, kind of.
well, the income information, that's
Oh.
what varies from year to year.
Sure.
So,
But you could send it to them just for as a guidance.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. To send that. I mean, and for a lot of cases that came in, if they're just living on Social Security, that's not changing that much from year to year. So, yes. So they do have to disclose the income from Social Security, or if they have any other salary or wages. I don't keep anything at the county level. If they bring in those papers, they show me what the amount is, write it down on the sheet. The application's kept on file, but any other documentation, income they take back with them. Some seniors are a little bit less mobile, so I've paid house visits if they need help filling out the application.
Do you know do you know how many there are? Griggs County?
There are 48 that should be applied this year. 5 of those are new, and then like someone say passed away, then the property wouldn't get it anymore. But if you do move into the nursing home, you can still continue to receive the credit.
Is that reimbursed then back again from the state kind of a deal?
Yep.
And so usually the time frame for people that have been receiving it in the past, if they've received it the previous year, I'm sending those out in December. Trying to give a deadline by February 1st to submit all those. Sometimes they don't know they haven't filled it. If they haven't filled out their taxes yet, they might not know what that income is. So some have asked for a few extensions. So it is, like, I try to have February 1st, but it can be very fluid in terms of when they have to turn those in. I think I submit that abstract to the state the following March or February or March. So it's so really, theoretically, I can continue to accept applications for 2018 because I don't have to turn in that information. The state doesn't reimburse until the following year. Probably for the sake of setting your budgets, and like if you're basing budgets or mills on taxable value, you probably want to get applications in before that.
Well, we're reimbursed. It won't affect our budget because the state reimburses us. So
Yeah, no, it doesn't affect that at all. It doesn't.
it affects their budget, but not ours.
Okay. Well, that would be good. Because then, because say if a person doesn't know about them, I can continue to accept applications I'd like to get them before. Like you'd want to get an application before. Maybe before the statements are sent out in December and stuff like that. We want that on the software, but could keep accepting applications.
The 5 new people that came in this year, did they mention how they heard about this program?
One person saw it in the paper. I think 2 of them, they got help from Cindy Antoinette Senior Citizen Center. And then there was one that he had been getting 60% of the disabled veterans one, and then I don't know exactly how he had heard about heard that he could qualify as well for that, because you can, if you don't have 100% for the disabled veterans, you can receive up to like the remaining percentage possibly for the homestead credit.
If you're retirement age.
Yeah, if you're above that age. It's because I think the state puts out some sort of advertisement in papers across the state. So that's one way it's advertised. I don't know exactly how effective that is in terms of reaching people. Not everyone gets the paper. John talked about putting papers up. The Senior Citizen Center, that'd be a good start. If the person's less mobile and they're not getting out during the winter or summer, probably the most just direct way is if I had like a list, I could just give people a call and start at the basics. If a person earns under $42,000, you can probably get some property tax credit, and probably worth coming and visiting that. Or
do you run an ad in the Griggs County paper?
No, I don't think so. Or I don't do it.
I think the state does it once a year, I believe.
But a one-time ad isn't very effective.
No.
And it's hardly.
Because in Griggs County, if there's a senior citizen, just because of the way we are, they probably get the paper. Just because that's been a big part of local communications for a long time. It wouldn't be a bad idea, even if the state would give us their ad slick, just to run it. When they run it 2 more times or whatever. 3 times is kind of the charm, I think, in advertising.
Yeah. direct communicate, I think there's two parts to this that limit the amount of people that participate. The one is not informed. They don't know about it.
And the other one's
second
pride.
one is pride.
Yeah.
And if it really affects the people that should be using this, they're the ones that need it the most. A lot of times those are the ones that don't want to because they feel bad about not contributing their share in taxes. Well, that's not the case. Griggs County's still getting paid. It's just that for their loyalty to Griggs County or loyalty to the state, that the state has decided, we've decided, that they should be a benefit to that.
We decided it should be 75 in it.
So I think that's it. I think to get people to know about it, if they don't know about it, ads will work. To get people to feel comfortable about doing it, I think it takes more of a personal contact in order to do that.
Bring it up at the
And that's where you
equalization
come in.
meetings that are coming here on Monday, and
Yeah.
But we don't really have a list of residents by demographics.
I wonder if like the senior citizen center, if they have a, I don't
I'm
know.
sure they do.
They have a database?
They must have a roster.
but not everybody's part of the senior citizens.
There's 3 senior citizens in Griggs County.
Yeah.
4?
that
Oh,
what,
Hannaford,
Hannaford?
Sutton, Binford, and
Binford,
Cooper. Yep.
It probably wouldn't even hurt to go to a senior citizens meeting.
Yeah.
Yep. And all 4 of them and let them know.
Have you? You've used to go to them once in a
I
while.
still do.
Do you?
Yeah. Yeah, I do, but it would be, if you could set up, I think Ruth Evans is probably the one in charge of overall, and she could give you the times and dates for the senior citizen meetings. And once you make that inroad, and once there's a personal contact, then I think that will, because just simple math here would tell you that there's a whole bunch more than 48 people that are eligible for this.
Yeah. And two, like people, I mean, I have a lot of people that are intimidated by the form, like you have your records to keep track of and what income is this, or so they're having like a personal touch too. That like,
Yep.
I mean, I take time to go walk down the street and in their home and can fill it out together, knowing that there's someone there that
Yep.
is helping fill out the application. I think that.
Yeah, with a smile on his face and happy to do it. Our government isn't there to hurt you, government's there to help you. That's kind of rare.
Okay.
Do you know when one of the senior citizen meetings would be?
I don't know, but,
In town here,
well, they're there every day for meals, but
during dinner, it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday that they're here for meals at the center. And
No.
Ruth would be there then.
Maybe even just a printout, a handout to have up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, right,
Anything
and
will
to put in the senior citizen bus, because that hauls a lot of people around.
Yeah, the South, what is it? South Central?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be another good source.
Hang on here.
But it's not property tax, it's just home, correct?
Wait, so-
Property tax.
Is it, yeah, property tax on a person's
Dwelling?
yeah, dwelling.
On your
Yeah.
principal residence.
Yeah.
Or another thing too, it applies up to the first 125,000 property. So if they're living in a $200,000 house, they'd only get relief up to if they were at the income requirements. It only applies to the first 125,000. Which I think there's only one in Griggs County that applies to.
Sorry.
I don't know the thing I was going to mention, but I can't remember.
Whose funeral was today up at Zion?
Ruth Berge.
It was.
It was packed.
Huh?
It was packed.
Was it? She was in a nursing home in Valley City.
She's been doing pretty poorly in the last few years.
That's 7 in the last week. Still, churches have been kind of busy that way.
Any of the numbers for the rest of them, so it's,
Okay.
these are Cooperstown, but it's
Okay.
Hannaford, Binford, and
Something. Okay. Do you have anything for us?
Well, everyone, you want to make a motion about have a letter for,
Oh, yeah.
on behalf of the county commission for the opportunity zone application?
David finished that opportunity ad zone application, and he emailed me a draft of a letter to send into the state along with it. It's a short letter, but he's emailed it to me like on Tuesday or something, so I told him we'd probably just want to take action on it today. So do you know what we're talking about?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So we just need a motion for David to send in that application and authorize me to sign the letter, the cover letter. Moved by Mark to send in the opportunity zone application that David put together on behalf of the county. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
And I think the deadline's the 13th, and then I think the state has to, I think the governor's office has to indicate to Washington by, I think, the 20th, what tracks they're designating the opportunity zone. So I think by then we'll find out whether it happens or not. But that's all I have. If
Do
guys-
you want me to sign that?
Oh, or what? Here, see.
You already have?
Never
If you
mind.
want to stop by after the meeting, because
I did it for you.
I had printed it out when I had the date is the 3rd of April.
Oh,
So the 7th, if you want to stop by after.
sure can.
And then I don't think there's anything else.
Okay,
right,
thank you, sir.
Thank you, David.
Megan,
Well, I just wanted to come in and go over the quarterly narrative with you guys, and then also NDSU released the annual highlights. They asked that we share with the commissioners, there's the auditor as well.
Your livestock deal that you had up in
Maxwell?
Netta,
Netta, oh,
was it pretty well attended, or?
Yeah, there was about 45
Oh,
producers.
wonderful.
that's more than there are producers in Nelson and Griggs County, aren't there? Isn't it? Or was it Steele too?
Yeah, there's not that many in Steele County.
No, there's hardly anybody in Steele.
Livestock.
Yeah, livestock producers.
And then
Randy
I don't
Huskett
think we
and
got
Johnson Stock Farm.
anybody from Grand Forks. There were still guys that weren't there, but I was
Yeah.
impressed.
Yeah. And the chemical recertification, all went well?
I'm glad I did it.
We all got reissued?
I'm still waiting on one to retest.
Ask you
Okay.
what test.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we had another meeting in the end of January at Hatton. There we talked about tree rows. I talked about
Removal or planting?
maintaining
Oh.
windbreaks. We need to put them back in. Jamie.
Yeah, well, don't come on my farm, but that's all right.
Well,
They got a place, but it's around the yards.
soil erosion,
Yeah.
and with the soybeans just nematode.
Oh,
Soil erosion's pretty important.
yep,
But
yeah.
I understand trackers keep getting bigger.
That's why I no-till. Yeah.
And then we talked about Palmer amaranth at the Hatton meeting and the disease update. So another meeting with good information.
Is there any Palmer amaranth in the state?
There should not be. And if there is,
Keep an eye out.
What is it?
it's a hideous weed.
I thought there was some up by Devil's Lake that they found.
No,
Some kind of wild
it's
monkey or
probably a
something.
water.
It's a,
No, there was something else that they found in hay. It was a water hemp.
Well then, the Department of Ag should probably know.
Well, it was something that hadn't been in the state before, and they'd found it that had been transported through hay. It was actually on an extension service page. Maybe that was a different weed, but
yeah, I don't think,
Because water hemp and Palmer amaranth and then red root pigweed, they're all part of the pigweed family. And so it's hard because they interbreed, and what a regular textbook pigweed looks, or red root pigweed looks like, can change. And especially if farmers are spraying and then hitting it with a growth regulator, that plant's going to recover and it's going to have a different look. So proper identification, but then that's also hard if it's a subspecies or a hybrid.
What do they do, DNA them?
I suppose that would be the only way, but if you have to have a family to go back to compare.
Wow.
how much will Palmer amaranth grow in a
I
week?
think it can get up to 12 feet tall. And then there was a group of agents that went down to Nebraska because it's bad there, but their approach is just keep spraying it and spraying it. And whatever herbicides they're using are obviously not controlling it, but they keep spraying it with the same herbicides. I don't know what they think is going to happen. But the pictures of the stalk, they're bigger than male wrists. So imagine putting a combine through that. It's just
Probably a good replacement for those Chinese elms.
And the drop water.
How many seeds per plant?
I don't want to misquote, but it's got to be easily upwards to the high thousands, if not millions.
That's what I've understood also. Yeah, we'll have to do whatever we can do to keep that out of here.
Yeah.
Where did it come from?
The Sonoran Desert, so the Rio Grande Valley. And you'd think a desert plant would not thrive up here, and it has a potential too.
Wonder why it took this long.
We can take
Some lady didn't think it was a pretty enough plant until recently.
Well, you'd think an animal would have ate it and carried it somewhere,
Yeah, too.
I mean, over the last 2 million years.
Seeds.
all it would take is for a seed to get on a custom combiner's combine that comes up here, or equipment. Or
With all this hay that's been brought into this state because of the drought, I mean, there very well could have been, but I think the closest is still in Iowa, and there was seed in cover crop plantings that Iowa has been. There's a lot of it around Iowa. So making sure your seed's clean is super important even more.
I think there's a county in Minnesota that's got it bad too.
I think, yeah, that's correct. But as far as I've heard, I don't think it's in North Dakota. Water hemp was that weed a couple years back, and now we're seeing more water hemp popping up.
You know, most of the noxious weeds in North Dakota came in as
Flowers.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
kochia
where,
was
that's where leafy spurge started. They planted it in flower beds.
Yeah, kochia too. That was
Purple
an
stripe.
ornamental plant
Yeah.
that they used for shrubbery.
Yeah.
And it is shrubby.
And salt cedar is still ornamental, and that's on the noxious.
Maybe we should get some of those nutras. Eat it. That was supposed to eat some kind of floating weed, weren't they?
Who's that?
Those nutras, those big rats that they brought into Florida to eat the floating weeds in the canals.
Oh,
Brought
yeah.
them in from South America, and they took over. You know, and so now they got 50-pound rats running all over.
Really?
Yeah, and they undermine the banks and all the irrigation canals. There's a bounty on them in Florida.
And the
Did it
Cubans
taste like
live in the
chicken?
tunnels when
Huh?
they're
Did
done.
it taste like chicken?
They do. No, they
Well, like
do.
rabbits taste like chicken.
But these look like a 40 or 50-pound muskrat. They're big old boys.
Cubans.
Yeah, and they brought them in from South America to control floating vegetation in the canal. They're in Louisiana, all along the coast.
They're called nutras.
Nutras.
Something about a cooking show a while ago.
Oh, yeah.
For Andrew Zimmerman.
Oh, yeah, they were a bad deal. I mean, it looked like a good deal. They ate whatever that floating weed was. It plugged up all the irrigation canals. Natural enemies.
Do you have any questions regarding the reports?
When is Leah done?
The end of June. And then also Alyssa's left. She started a new
Fair enough.
position up in Rolette County working for NRCS.
Really?
Yeah.
So she moved away. Because what's the county seat of Rolette?
Rugby.
Is it Rolla? No, Rugby's in Pierce County.
I think it's Rama.
I need to double check. I think, yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Well, good for her. Bad for you.
So Connie and I and Wayne are working together to find somebody.
I heard that.
So I think you had a busy spring with Livestock Shipping Association, or whatever it was, Livestock Association, you know, what you spoke
Yeah,
at.
I
Griggs-
had no, or yeah.
The Griggs County Shippers Supper, is that they
Griggs
were?
County Livestock, I think it is. That's getting to be quite a big deal. There's quite a few people there.
Yeah, Mitch Dahl and Tyler Stockland has kind of, they've resurrected it.
Yeah.
So they've done a great job.
Yeah.
I'm happy to help them, but I don't want to take
Yeah.
over it
No.
because then
That's right.
it's nice to have them involved with that.
Take ownership. You bet.
So they slice up a bunch of mountain oysters.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have
Who
anything
cooked
else for
those?
us?
Nope,
Who cooked those then, Chugger?
no. Tyler's dad,
Yeah, they were.
Oh, really?
frying them all up over
Mitch, Brian, Wrestler,
Oh, okay.
David was helping.
there.
I was scuba diving.
Yeah.
Nah,
Do you have any questions for me?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Megan.
Thank you.
Yep. Oh, and then Sean, I do have a performance review for the next
18th, right?
Yes, will that work for you?
Should.
Okay, alright,
So you'll have a neutral recipe for us next meeting?
sure.
Okay.
We used to, you saw it on a, sure. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll try to find something like that.
Make a hat for you.
Do you like it spicy or?
I'll get,
Yeah.
I'll get one sent up here.
Can't be breaded though.
Cajun neutral.
So,
Games of chance permit for Red Willow Bible Camp.
Move to approve.
second.
Moved and seconded to approve the games of chance permit for the Red Willow Bible Camp. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 2017 audit. You guys want to hire Harold to do an audit, or what do you want to do?
I think so. Motion.
How much does he charge?
Not very much.
Okay.
You get exactly what you pay for.
The entertainment value is priceless.
Yeah.
Any motion to the effect? I'll make a motion we hire Harold Rotunda to conduct the 2017 audit.
Been moved by Sean to hire Harold Rotunda to do the 2017 audit. Is there a second to the motion?
We don't have much other option, do we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it was
He charges $4,000. The state would be about 10 or 12,000.
18 for a private entity.
If you had Ide Bailey or somebody come in and do it, it'd be 15,000.
No, I'll second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale? Mark? Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. Maybe Harold doesn't want to work for us anymore.
Oh, he likes it.
He likes the banter.
Employee
He
manual.
likes this silly talk.
Do you
What is
want
it
me
now?
to report on the ND PERS or not?
Oh, Andy Purse.
I did contact that lady. She got me some information, but more information is coming, so she asked that I hold off on presenting anything, and then she was gone today, so I should have something for you guys by the end of, or by the next meeting.
Okay. Employee manual.
Well, I only had one thing on that. I think there's some more, but for now, I think we should change the maternity leave related absences to actually match how we've been treating that. And so we've been allowing sick leave. The manual says that we shouldn't allow sick leave, but I think that it's been that way forever. I think we should just make the practices match, the manual match the practices. So if you go to, on page 27 of 34, it's maternity-related absences, and I'll just read you the paragraph that relates to this. Requests for time off associated with pregnancy, adoption, and/or childbirth, parentheses, apart from medical disabilities associated with these conditions, here's what it says now, will be considered in the same manner as any other request for unpaid leave. I think it should read, will be considered in the same manner as sick leave.
And unpaid leave, because somebody might not have enough sick leave.
Yeah,
Or
but well, no, because sick leave, if you don't have enough sick leave, then you have to go to unpaid anyway. That's already spelled out back in the manual.
Okay.
Yeah. That's, again, this has been this way for a long time, but this is not how it's been handled.
It is not.
And we're not gonna go back and unring the bell, and we're not gonna punish people now for, how do you fix it? The only way you fix it is make what was done correct.
Get more liberal.
Seems to be the direction I'm going.
Slippery slope, John.
Who would have thunk?
Me and Bernie Sanders.
So is that a motion?
It's a motion.
Is there a second to that motion?
We should all second that.
Here, here.
Seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale? Mark?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries. Beer and liquor license resolution. It's on the back page. Apparently, the state's attorney figured we should have a resolution to change this.
Yeah, we needed to.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we talked about it at that meeting.
Yep.
We're missing the part that it could be prorated though in here. Does that need to be in here?
I don't think so, because I think we can,
We have been prorating it
Anyway.
anyway.
yeah, I think that's fine.
Motion to approve the resolution regarding liquor and beer licenses.
I'll make the motion to approve the resolution.
Been moved by John. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale? Mark?
No.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. Old courthouse, new courthouse?
We did receive a letter regarding the old courthouse. If you wanted to read that out.
Dorothy Hetland.
She wants to buy it?
Sold. Well, as a taxpayer, I'd like to see the old courthouse closed and use only the new courthouse to save on our taxes. No, of course, that's been done. Dorothy lives in Fargo. That was David's widow. I don't know if you should respond to Dorothy. Do you have her address?
I can probably get it from Connie or something.
Just tell her when you go to Fleet Farm.
We might want to keep that letter at some point in time. Might help us with the state. When it comes time
Maybe.
to remove that.
I also had a question. To have any ballot questions or on the ballot, I need those by Monday. I didn't know if you guys wish to have a ballot question regarding the old courthouse on the ballot this election.
We'd like to, but we can't, can we?
Well, that kind of goes back to Mark's. You know, of collecting citizen input. Would that have any weight in our quest for permission to do as we see fit to that building? I don't know that it would. But clearly I mean, the problem that I see with it is if we put that on the ballot and it passes by 85%, and then we say, well, just kidding, we can't take it down anyway.
Well, I think we need, if we put it on there, we just need to inform people that we're looking for input in order to go to the governing bodies on it, and we're, if just state the question such as if the county receives permission, or would you approve of the county seeking permission from the regulating agencies for demolition of the county courthouse?
Well, we already are, aren't we? Seeking permission.
Well, we're trying.
I don't know that. I don't know that nobody's doing anything right now, are
No,
they? I don't.
That was Bob, and
But he never did anything anyway.
but
I don't think he asked. He wasn't working on it anyway, was he?
well, he said he was, but I don't think he ever was.
I think we had the discussion when I first got on, that I think the State Historical Society.
Is Merlin Poverud still working out there, or is he retired? Kind of right around that age.
I can do some checking. I'm not gonna.
Okay.
I can't work on it. I mean, it would not right. No, I wouldn't have the time to work on it. But I could work on it over the next few months. But I can start doing some checking if that's what you guys want.
A vague question wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, I don't think. Asking.
I could just send Merle an email and ask him. You know, I've been asked to reapproach the question of our ability to tear the courthouse down.
Is that David that's the whistler out here?
Probably.
I think there's a fine for that in the employees manual.
There could be. He's been whistling all afternoon in there.
I don't have to be that happy.
Sense of happiness.
You think he's hiding something, John?
Well, can we put a non-binding issue on the ballot? Of course, it wouldn't be non-binding. We were seeking permission.
Yeah, I mean.
Are you in favor of the county seeking permission from the proper authorities to
Demolish the courthouse or
Raise
or
the courthouse.
Removal
Yeah.
of the old.
Raise the courthouse, I think is the correct word.
Is that raise?
Raise, isn't it? R-A-Z-E, yeah. I'd move that Jamie draft that
To put it on the ballot?
and put it on the ballot. When's the ballot?
Monday.
I have to have it by Monday.
Well,
By
we should,
Monday or on
I think
Monday?
we should. That has to be okay by
On-
you guys.
on
I
Monday
think we
at
should
4
just talk
o'clock.
about it today.
Okay.
Yep. everything's gotta be to me by 4 o'clock.
Write it out on a piece of paper.
Do we have a blank piece of paper here?
Roll up the paper, but remember this one.
Dearest Doug.
Okay, while Jamie's doing that, is there any other old courthouse, new courthouse?
You have a question?
Oh. Did you ever have a chance, Jamie, to draft that letter to the fire and tornado insurance?
No, and I've called out there. I haven't gotten in touch with anybody yet.
Okay.
I mean, regarding the insurance for this building?
Yeah.
That's an attorney general's question. Fire and tornado doesn't answer those legal questions.
So you want me just to ask for an attorney general's opinion?
Well, I mean, that's
I can.
I can't remember who I talked to out there, but he didn't want to talk to me about there wasn't going to be a debate with him because he got this directive from the attorney general's office. And he said, "I'm not a lawyer.
I'll just I remember that. No, I'll just talk to someone out the AG's office next week. I'll make sure I do that Monday.
See why we are singled out over there, not being.
Well, we don't know that we are, but I have a
In
feeling.
fact, if I can get all before 4, I'll just go ask him.
What are these spaces for?
Actually, I can delete that. You don't have to have anything in there. That was based off another resolution.
Oh, go ahead, Garth. My wages. I can do that math.
There you go.
That's not gonna work.
Oh,
He's gonna fix it.
oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
I'll just send you a new one later. Newspaper is Griggs County seeking permission to raise.
Hey, you never know how few people feel. Maybe they want an acre.
Maybe the 95% will fix it up.
There you go. Turned into a daycare center.
Problem is, it needs a $500,000 worth of work.
Sure, sure.
You gonna do it, or are you
Yeah.
doing what for, and how are you gonna fund it?
Biggest concern is that a chunk of it falls off and lands on this building. The museum's got some neat pictures of the courthouse.
Oh,
You know, there was probably about 5 buildings.
before all the trees came up.
The trees were that tall
Hmm.
in town planted. Change it a little bit. At least then we'll have an idea of the feelings of the voters. Either that or we'll make another question. And say, well, what other options do we have? So,
Fire or payloader?
yeah.
That's such a shame they built this thing.
And then, if you do get approval, tear it down, it's gonna be a big cost commitment to get it done.
Oh, certainly. Gonna be a big cost commitment leaving it there too. So, you know, we're kinda stuck in the.
Are you in favor of Griggs County seeking permission from the regulatory body to raise the old courthouse? Yes or no? I think that's all we need to have in there.
Simple as that.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by John that the old courthouse issue be put on the ballot and seconded by Mark. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Sean? Troy votes aye. Motion carries.
Who seconded that?
Petition.
Just
Mark.
because you said it doesn't mean you gotta vote for him.
It's true, that's true. I'm gonna catch you too, Mark.
You better hurry up. 21st.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Been moved by John to adjourn. Is there a second to the motion?
Then each box works with you about.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Did he leave already?
Time.
I think you got it already.
Huh?
You signed it. You signed it already.
That's all right. It's for whoever to look through, make sure it isn't signed.
See if the Secretary of State gets it.
Troy, will you say the time real quick?
3:27 p.m. April 6th. I did.